we got flaps are up, full power, carb heat off. Do a little bit more aggressive on this climb. Whee! Let's get really aggressive on the climb now. Let's not do it, okay? Alright, so we're doing 70 miles an hour now. That little climb stunt. But it did get us up to 890 feet pretty quick. I'm going to start turning the crosswind. Columbia County, White Cessna, turning crosswind for 21, Columbia County. Nose up. Plenty of speed for this angle turn. I'm going to square off the turn a little bit. I'm going to look around, look for traffic. Little bird screaming along in front of me. I just passed up that bird. He's doing about 30. I'm doing like 90. Columbia County, White Cessna, turning downwind for 21. Okay, we're almost at pattern altitude, and we just got onto our downwind. That looks correct. As soon as we straighten out, we'll be cutting back some power. Alright, so we cut back the power to 2400 RPM. Columbia County, White Cessna is in the downwind for 21, Columbia County. My God, this is fun. We're at 1160 feet. We're slightly low for this pattern altitude. I don't think it matters too much. So here's a little trick. We're going to pull back the power again, and we're going to hold the nose up, and then we're going to add 10 degrees of flaps as we keep on looking our eyes around to make sure we keep it a nose level here, and then we're going to add the power back. As you add the power back, you got to push down on the yoke again. Looks like someone is taking the runway. Oh no, looks like he's holding short. So yes, he did stop and taxi back, and looks like he's waiting for me. Alright, so I've got 10 degrees of flaps. I'm a little fast, getting onto the 45, and I'm a little high. So now I'm going to come down a little bit, pull all the power back. Watch to see if I get slow. Descending at 1200 feet a minute. Still doing 90. That little trick there, pulling all that power back. We're going to add 10 degrees of flaps. We're at 22 degrees right now. Columbia County, White Cessna is just turned base for 21. Add a little bit of power back. We're at 650 feet. So the sight picture still looks good. Nothing's going crazy here. At 22 degrees of flaps, we're at 75 miles an hour. It looks really good. Probably the best approach that I've done so far. 1700 RPM, that's just the perfect speed. RPMs for this. 75 miles an hour still. Really good. That Bonanza's holding short for us. The PAPI lights show we're low, but I don't really care about that. I'm a little teeny airplane. I can even actually just pull all the power back right now. Keep on angling down. Then we're going to pull back up a little bit, and whoa, that was a little bit, you know, I probably should have left the power in a little bit longer, huh? All right, flaps coming up. Power full. Birds on the runway. I hope these little fuckers don't do anything crazy. Go straight at him. Guy, I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's gimping around with a bad leg or something. I don't know. Only doing 85 miles an hour, little birdie. I don't think he should be in front of me. Columbia County, White Cessna is just takeoff from 21. We'll be departing the pattern to the south. So full power on the climb out. We're doing a little fast. We got to pull up a little bit more aggressive. Altitude is your friend. The speed is not your friend.
Cruiser 1 Bravo X-ray is going to be departing runway 21 to the south, Columbia County.
A departure from Columbia County. Keep an eye out for me. I am had just departed 21, also heading south. I'm at 960 feet right now.
Will do. I'm just taking a runway right now, but I'll keep an eye out for you.
All right, so now we go to direct to, and we're going to go to recent. And I suppose I should get the cruise before I do this, but I'm... All right, find KDXR Airport here. That's a bearing to... Acting a little funny right now. Maybe it doesn't have a signal. I don't know if this thing automatically switched to that plate. That's weird. Here we are. We're on the CTAF frequency, right? We got the weather. We'll be switching over to the ATIS for Danbury. My God, this is gorgeous. So we're at 1,500 feet, doing 100 miles an hour. We're right on the track, it looks like, within 2 degrees. The inspector would find that. We lock the throttle in at our 2,550 RPM. Looks like it's trimmed to descend, so we're just going to get a little bit of a trim there. And we're going like the wind wants to push us to the to our left here, so we're going to crew up our bearing, overcompensate just slightly, and see how that goes. This is crazy. It's just whipping back and forth. So much fun. Way better than any roller coaster. Just, you know, being in the airplane by yourself and having the freedom just to, you know, bank it over to the right and start turning. Maybe I can even give you a good view. Look at that. How about a good view of the ground there? Isn't that beautiful? Ooh, we don't want to get over closer. Starting to get over 140 miles an hour there. We're going to level off. Try to get back to our bearing. That was fun, right? We're going to think back here. One of the best parts of flying is steep turns. So steep turns and shortened approaches, those are the two most fun things you'll ever have flying, I believe. I'm guessing there's a lot more out there that Patty Wagstaff could teach you. But for your basic student pilot, that's going to be the most enjoyable thing that you'll ever experience. We're really cruising along here at almost 120. Our ground speed, though, is like only 83. We are hitting some headwinds up here at only 18 feet off the ground. Still trying to climb, but it shows me descending. Still got way too much power in, but we haven't really reached our cruise yet. So we're just going to keep that power in for now. These little underpowered planes don't move unless you add a lot of power at times. If you ever get behind the power curve, you're really going to have to master that throttle to overcome slowness. Kind of like getting stopped going uphill on a motorcycle. Going to have to slip that clutch and add a lot of power in order to get back moving again. So I'm seeing that one hump above in front of me. I'm going to turn a little bit like this. Maybe you can see it too. There's that one mountain that sticks out of nowhere. It's crazy looking. Kind of reminds me of...
Bonanza's on a 10-mile straight and final for runway 21, Columbia County.
Straight in. There goes that straight in approach again. Don't ever do those. Never do a straight in approach. Always enter a left downwind or a base so you can see what's going on with the airport. might not see every plane. These little airplanes, you don't really see them until they start tipping their wings towards you. When an airplane tips its wings, you can spot it pretty far. When an airplane doesn't tip its wings, you really can't see it. Sorry for the language, but I mean, it's a very serious matter, not being able to see the other traffic. So we're only still at 2,100 feet. We're doing like 110 miles an hour. I suppose I should be pulling back a little harder, get some more vertical speed here. But, no, it's kind of pretty outside. And the obstacles that are listed in this sectional for this region are all surrounded all around me, but I'm in the valley. This is just a beautiful farming valley. So hopefully there's enough little these fields around here where I could set this plane down in case I had a problem. So that's what's the good thing about flying north out of Danbury, is you're going to run into these farms right away. So there's a, they're flying a 1964 airplane, a few thousand hours on the motor. I want you to think about that for a minute. So we're doing over 105 miles an hour, right? But our ground speed is like 74 knots, so we've got a little bit of a wind there. I suppose I should have changed that to miles per hour. So let me just say that again. We're doing 88 knots and we're doing 74 ground speed knots. So that tells you it's about a 10 knot wind we're fighting against. Which, all the airports are reporting wind calm, but you don't know what's happening everywhere.
Columbia County, Bonanza 5 mile final, straight in 2-1, Columbia County.
Boy, if you ever turn your head around, the plane wants to go up. Note to self, don't let the plane go up when you turn your head around. And why am I turning my head around? Honestly, because I think that plane that's following me is faster. I mean, yeah, I'm doing 120 miles an hour, but my ground speed's only like 90 knots. So I'm going to pull back the power now. I don't think I'm going to be able to stay ahead of him anyway, so we'll just have to keep our eyes open. We pulled back the power and locked it in. Starting to feel good. We're going to trim it to get the level flight going here. So Danbury Airport is 45 nautical miles away. We're still
Columbia County, Bonanza 3 mile final, 2-1, Columbia County.
Still on the CTAP frequency for Columbia County, so you can still hear them. We don't even have to pull the squelch out. But soon, we're going to start getting the weather for Danbury, Connecticut. Oh my gosh, those Berkshires. That's beautiful. The Catskills over to my right. And we're in this giant valley in between, just full of farms. That's unusual to see like a whole block of pine trees right there. That must be, I'm not going to lie, that would be incredible to ride your motorcycle in there. The pine produces a loamy soil that is pretty outstanding. Get a little slippery, the pine needles in the wet, but wow, when it starts to tack up. Well, I do love riding motorcycles as well. So 2,500 feet, it's a little low, we are doing 105 miles an hour, 2,500 RPM. I don't know if that thing is slipping on the clutch a little bit. We're going to push back a little bit more power there. We don't want to get slow. Dying to know how fast that Bonanza is going behind me. Hands-free flying, our bearing is 186. Taking your hands off the yoke during the
Columbia County, Bonanza.
It's like a no-no, but it's a good way to figure out
2-1.
the wind. I can see I'm getting pushed left, so I'm going to bring my heading back here. Right back to 181. Straighten that sucker out. We're doing good there. Throttle's not slipping. We're doing 100 miles an hour. So we'll coast a little bit this way. Right? We're just going to look around for clearing, you know. We're looking for other airplanes. Then we're going to do a little bit of a turn this way. When you turn, you're trading off some of your lift for the turn, so you don't have to pull back on the yoke a little bit, and you'll lose a little bit of airspeed. Turning back. There's that one hump. That's so cool. I guess that's why I saw it before, because you know, I'm flying basically straight at it. I probably won't fly over it. Move myself over to the left. We'd probably be landing on 26 anyway, so getting ourselves closer to Danbury Airport can't be so bad. I don't even see my airplane anymore on this flight tracking software. So much for the flight tracking software. Just likes to fail on you, doesn't it? I suppose I could try to restart it. I think somehow it injected a VFR in there, like, your problem. So I'm going to delete VFR. Over to the right of that hump, because that's just the way the plane wants to fly. So 2,500 RPM, doing 105 miles an hour. Ground speed 86 knots. That's like a 4-knot headwind. It doesn't look like it wants me to be able to know where I'm at. Maybe if I zoom in or something, I don't know. If I hit nav log, no route data to show, tap to hide. So I'm going to tap ADXR. I'm going to say direct to. Little feature there, right? And so at 2,800, we have 2,550 on the RPM, and we're doing 104 miles an hour, 78 knot ground speed. So it's looking like it's giving me a track now. I don't know why the recording seems to have stopped.
Airport traffic, 1 minute for skydiving below 10,000.
Somebody's skydiving below 10,000, so that's pretty low to jump. I don't know about you, but I don't think I would want to get out of an airplane at 1,000 feet. Not enough time to deploy the reserve chute. You have a problem. Like, can you imagine if I just pushed down right here? It wouldn't take me too long to get down to the ground. Let's just put it that way. Here I am. I wanted to avoid the hump, but I'm flying right over it. I suppose that's a good look for the trees.
Jumpers away, Newport.
Jumpers away, they say, huh? So we're still on the CTAF frequency. We're at 37 miles away from Danbury Airport. So if I was to touch Danbury Airport, I want to probably get all these radios set up. So how do I do that? I look for Danbury Ground and Danbury Tower, but first I got to put in the ATIS information, right? So I'm going to switch over to 127.75 and put that as my active radio. I might not hear the weather from 37 nautical miles away, but I can pull the squelch. Okay, so still too far to hear the weather, and we're going to put in the tower frequency next, 119.40. 119.4. So that's all set up, ready to go. You could actually even hit monitor for that if you wanted to. But we're just not hearing anybody right now. Looking around, this is visual flight rules. Just a reminder. So what does that mean? You have to look around by yourself and find the other traffic that's there. Now you could spend some money, get an ADS-B Century and stick it on the window and let that pop up on your iPad. So that's another $400 something. I would say it's worth it. Know where these other airplanes are. Here's the challenge with that. Not everybody's airplane has ADS-B. It's not required.